Hi everyone. Wow, what a snowstorm yesterday. And honest, the first time since I've worked there that they've ever canceled class on us in the evening. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the snow. Okay, so I've had to shift things around a little bit, as you can imagine. And so here's our calendar. I'm going to start by talking about what you're going to do with your teaching learning cycle wiki, and then we'll go back and look at the other things. So it's down here. You actually have three things that you need to do with this. First is individual work. So you're going to revise your language detective worksheets using the Humphrey resource as an answer key. So what is the Humphrey resource? I will link it here. There's something wonky with the internet right now. If you get here before I do, it's also up here. Okay, this is a really, really good resource, and we were going to kind of walk through it in class. Um, so it's from this book, Grammar and Meaning, and it's actually a companion to the NCG. It's kind of like the workbook version, and this is in the appendix. And what they have is they have basically an overview of genres and language features. And so it's kind of like a sort of like a cheat sheet for each genre. So let's just look at the information report, for example. So what they do is they have the social purpose, the generic structure here, grammatical features, and it's organized into, well, this would be your field, and this is kind of field for expressing and field for connecting. Your language for interaction, that's your tenor, and your language for creating cohesive text, that's your mode. And then they have the things that are specific for that genre. And then they have an example kind of genre here. So what I want you to do is I want you to use this as like an answer key for your language detective worksheet. So say you did an information report. Check and make sure that your social purpose roughly matches this one, that your structure kind of roughly matches this, that you included all of these things in your different parts on your language detective worksheet. Again, some of them may not make sense, but go through, and if it makes sense and you think, oh, I should add that, then add it in. And because it's a work in progress and I want to see kind of your thinking, if you add something in or take something out, go ahead and highlight it. So this has most of the genres that you're going to do. If for some reason your genre isn't in here, then maybe get inspired from one of these and see if there's any revisions that you want to make, and then send me a note and we can kind of work on it together. So that's this. The other thing that you're going to do, and I'll just go back here to kind of show you, is you're going to create your language objectives. So this was the main purpose of Module 5, is to learn how to go from analyzing a genre and really understanding the resources that you need to do to create that social purpose, to meet that social purpose, and how you translate these to language objectives. Again, this Humphrey resource is a good guide. What I've found in the past is I've had students have done these beautiful kind of analyses with their genres, but then when it comes time to language objectives, the objectives actually didn't address any of these things here. So again, this is a little different than normal. So let me show you what I mean by normal. So let's look at like a Common Core. So the Common Core state standards. Okay, so here we are. This is our opinion piece, and these are their language standards, right? Introduce the topic, provide reasons, use linking words, provide a concluding statement. Well, you know a lot more now about actually the language that is needed to kind of do these things. So your language objectives are going to actually provide the detail that goes with this. So we can basically say, what do we mean by provide reasons? So you're going to kind of weave these Common Core standards or whatever your district has for your genre. You're certainly going to include those, but you're also going to include the other ones to flesh out the details. So going back to here, so for language objectives, you might decide, and again, you don't have to use all of these, but you decide what's important. So you might say the language objective is to use relating processes to define, describe, and classify. You might say use repeated naming of the topic and the theme position. This is confusing. We'll talk more about that later. You might say statements, expresses, declarative clauses. So again, see if you can work these into your language objectives. And so that's kind of that's that there. And I will kind of work with you on this as we go. I hope you also noticed that I've been going into your wikis and I had a lot of feedback on your generics stages. So you can respond to those. Okay, sorry, those are my notes. Let's go back to where I was. The third thing is your group work. And again, sorry we didn't get to organize this in class. I was going to have you choose the roles, but instead I had to randomly decide them so we can get going. So these are your roles for Module 5, and I will let you figure out 6, 7, and 8. So now you've got to remember, okay, what are these? What do I need to do? What is the resource here that is going to help me understand this? So look, there's a couple places where you can look. And one is back at your Teaching Learning Cycle project. And here's the details. So here we are, we're in Module 5. So this is what you're doing individually. And here's now where we're doing building knowledge of the field. So this is where, these are your 3 different roles. The designer's got to go first. I'll show you the calendar in a minute. So you're going to do content and objectives. You're going to restate your language objectives from, this is actually today, the module today. And then what activities would you do in your classroom? So 4 or 5 things to kind of do this. Now you also, in addition, this is not that clear here, so I need to revise this, is also thinking about how you're building knowledge of the genre. So you've got your content, but you also have genre. So how are you going to get, what activities you're going to do to get people familiar, get your students familiar with the actual genre? So that's this here. And then after the designer goes, the SFL expert's going to go, and the liaison for the principal is going to go. So that's kind of gives you roles there. And let's go back to the modules. Okay. And since we didn't get to do it in class, I'll go light and give lots of feedback and support on that one. But I think I think the process of kind of going through the roles, you're gonna get to really figure out, learn more about kind of how to do this. Okay. So that is the, oh, and then where to find these again, you can also look here, go to your group, and it kind of, so here basically is where you're going to do your objectives, and then here's where the building the field is going to be. It restates the roles here, and then it gives you the instructions here. Okay, and then let's go back out to the rest of the module. Okay, I'll open this up in a second for you. Sorry, that's still hidden. Okay, so here's the calendar. So by Saturday, the designer, you need to have your part done so that the SFL expert can do your part and the liaison to the principal can do your part here. So it's really important that everyone's on board. You can email each other if someone's running behind and politely remind. Okay, the reading this week is Teaching, Learning, and Context, Chapter 8. This is on argumentative writing, or the argumentative genre. I think you're going to find that that you're going to really understand a lot of this because we really built the field for your understanding of this. And also on that topic of building the field, they've got a good section in here on that. So designers, you might want to check for some ideas here for that one. Language investigations. Again, we're going to do this in class. I'm now going to turn it into an activity, which is going to take the place. There was a quiz in here. That's all going to take the place here. So I needed some time on Friday to design that. Then it's time to try things out in your classroom again. So if you have something that you want to try out, and again, it could be part of the teaching learning cycle. You could try a part out with that. It could be any of the things that we've been learning that you, or the activities that you want to try. There was a bunch of activities in the LIP that Jeb put together. You could try out anything really that's related to SFL pedagogy that you want to do, and see what other people are doing as well. If that doesn't make sense for you, you can do something from chapter 8. So in this chapter, there's a bunch of activities called Have a Go, and you can do two of those, and also post those in this blog. So by the end of the week, you're going to post this, but we'll wait till next week to comment because I want to give people plenty of time to actually do that. So that's also kind of indicated down here, and this links to that blog. This is where the investigations is going to be. Um, and let's see. Okay, I think that is everything. So look for another kind of video screencast and something with your language investigations that I'll try to get done on Friday. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be checking a lot on Friday and checking in over the weekend to make sure everyone's kind of getting their part done. And again, you've got lots of resources for all of this. So good luck, and let me know if you need any help.